Yo, what's up everybody? It's Peace-Eye. Welcome to another video. So I did you guys all a favor, and my son's just in the background. I did you guys all a favor, and I took Altergeist to locals. I know you guys still are very passionate about this deck. Now, I had to do some tweaks to the build that I did before. I cut down on the Altergeist engine and concentrated on combo. I used a couple of engines that people might not be too keen on in order to increase the consistency and power of the strategy. So, let's get into my 45 card Altergeist deck. I think it's 45, right? Was it 45? No, it was 54. My 54 card Orcus deck, or the Altergeist deck. Let's get into it. Surprisingly, people will actually still watch this.
Okay.
Good night, Papa. All right, so for the Altergeist engine, I wanted to concentrate on combo, and there's a couple different ways to go full combo, which ends on a steal and some other form of disruption. Sometimes you'll end on a bounce, in addition to a monster effect negation and a spawn trap negation, and then sometimes you'll end up with a different scenario. I can do a separate combo video after this, but the main way that you do it is getting access to Mellowseek or getting to Hextia before you get an additional material on the board, which can get you into your Malwisp. But yeah, I'll explain the combo in a separate video. But 3 Mellowseek, this is your searcher. 3 Pukari. So you want to be able to see this so that you can link on the field, because you can't really do anything with just one Altergeist monster until we get our Link 1. Shout out to Orcus for getting their Link 1 first. You need to be able to summon your Hextia out and then hopefully get another body to link climb. Once you start link climbing past that point, it's very easy to climb up into your Link 4 Adminia. But the Altergeist monsters are very restrictive in terms of them needing Altergeist monsters to create the Link monsters. There is a generic Synchro level 6, but I could not find any way to easily put that level 6 body out on board to start climbing into the other monsters. So unfortunately at this time, you're just playing the main deck ones. So 3 Pukari, 2 Paratrader. I was in a rush. I was going to play 3, so that would have put this deck up to 55. But this is also full combo with the Pukari. Because I keep on trying to go into the combos, but no, this when it goes to the field, from field to grave, you get to dump a card. So this is the searcher, the dumper, and then you can link from your hand with this one. The cool battle effects of these two, this one can target a card and send it to the graveyard in damage step, and then in damage step this draws 1 card, which I actually got to resolve in the tournament, which was really nice. Next up, your one of bricks. Malwisp. This is the Poplar of the deck. It reveals in your hand and special summons itself, and then on summon it special summons from graveyard. So this is 2 bodies by itself, which is why you really want to get to Hextia or Mellowseek to be able to search this, special it, and bring back another body. So Mellowseek by itself can generate 3 total bodies. Next up, the 1 Multifaker. So the idea with this is that I'm using a bunch of other engines to supplement this deck. In the control build, you want to play a bunch of trap cards and then try and resolve Faker on turn 0. I'm not trying to do that. When it summons from hand, it does not lock you. But if it's on-field effect triggers and you summon from deck, that does lock you into Altergeist. Not for the rest of the turn, but for the entire turn. So you have to be very careful about this card. I made sure to remember that in tournament. So whenever I was trying to combo off and go into other engines, other avenues, you didn't use the effective Multifaker on field. So this is mainly during your opponent's turn in this strategy. You're searching this during your turn in the combo that I'll show in the other video. And this will basically be added to your hand, and then you can summon on your opponent's turn to summon out your Silquidus. In future builds, I do think that I will increase this and actually remove these 2, which is hilarious. Because they're just so bad to draw. And I want this to be as consistent as possible. And I'm not going to play a control matchup. I'm going to play a combo, because I only play combo decks. Next up is the Altergeist Traps. So 1 Protocol, 1 Manifestation. Through the combo, you get to both of these. And then the Revitalization. So the Revitalization is dumped by your Paratrader. You banish it to be able to normal summon an Altergeist monster. And And since this is a trap card, you can do this during your opponent's turn or your turn. So if you didn't have to use this during your turn and you use your Hextia negate, you can actually, like say a Malseek was pointing to it, you can search something crazy like another Paratrader, and then you can banish this to normal summon the Paratrader to turn on your negation again for the spells and traps, because the Hextias are not once per turn. And then another dump target that I wanted to do in terms of advantage is Altergeist Failover. The on-field effect does not matter, but its graveyard effect is what I was concentrating on. This card says that you can banish it and then target an Altergeist monster, or is it card in your graveyard? Monster in your graveyard, and then add that to your hand. So during your opponent's turn, you can banish it to add Malice back to your hand, which will trigger its effect to special summon itself and then reborn from graveyard. Or if you just have access to Paratrader and you don't have any other Altergeist monsters to be able to use your revitalization, you can dump Failover and then add it back later, so just to be able to use it as link material and not lose the advantage, which I thought was worth the 1 slot in the 54 card deck. You might have a different opinion, but I do use this a couple times in tournament. So I want you to take a look at the duels just to see how the interactions can come up. And when you're dumping with Paratrader, remember that these two are options. But if you choose not to play this, then your usual target is going to be this, and then in some fringe scenarios, the manifestation to banish it and add a protocol back from your graveyard. But that is basically the entire Altergeist engine in terms of the Altergeist specific cards. Now, the supplementary cards, 1 for 1. This can summon your Malseek from deck, but if you already have your Malseek, then you can summon your Pukari or even a Paratrader if you so choose. And then, where are Thou? So, the full combo is either Paratrader or Malseek plus Pukari in your hand. And so this is just 3 more copies of Pukari, plus the 1 for 1 is, I guess, 4 more cards of Pukari. So I did the hypergeometric calculator, and it's not a likely chance that you'll actually draw this combo, especially for playing 54 cards. So the other supplementary engines all draw cards as part of the engine, which is really cool. You do play pretty hard into draw, which is why I actually cut talents and put in a cross-out designator, but spoiler alert. But yeah, level 1s are just really great. Notice that I'm not playing a Marionetta or a Conqueri. That's because you have to play the other brick, which is terrible to draw in every scenario, the Manifestation. Not Manifestation, what is it called? Haunted Rock. I did not want to play Haunted Rock this time around because I was absolutely sick of drawing it. Even if I have ways to put it back into my deck, spoilers, I'm going to reveal a card, Illusion of Chaos, to put it back into the deck, like, it's still not going to be consistent enough. So I opted to not even bother with it. Some other things that I did consider are Jack in the Hand, which can reveal 3 level 1s, and then your opponent adds 1 to their hand, and then you take from the other 2, which is nice, but that also plays super hard into draw. At least with this one, I'm not giving my opponent card advantage. So yeah, this is the Altergeist engine. Now to the other engines, I opted to play Horus. This lets you draw a bonus card, and it puts 2 bodies on board, which can make Zombie Vampire to mill. And if you mill an Altergeist monster, you get to special summon that, and then you can use your normal summon on your Malseek or your Pukari or whatever to actually make Hextia and start comboing off from there. So that was the idea with the Horus package. It not only draws, but it boosts consistency by letting you see the top 4 cards of your deck. In one of my matches against Malice, I made the Zombie Vampire trying to hit an Altergeist card or something like that, and I ended up hitting an Artifact Lancia. I special summoned the Lancia to my field, and then during my opponent's draw phase, I used the on-field effect of Lancia to tribute itself to prevent him from banishing. I won that game. Happy, and the 1 King Sarcophagus. I didn't want to hamper down too much, and I absolutely hate drawing this card, but I feel like I draw it constantly, which sucks, but you gotta play it because it's the search target, so you can get your bonus draw. But you obviously don't get your bonus draw if you just draw it by itself. So that's the Horus engine. Next, I opted to play a very heavy Azamina package. So I played 3 Diabellstar, because you definitely want to see this, because spoiler alert, we want to see bodies on board, because we play a Fiendsmith package. Sorry, everybody. This is how you have to play Altergeist, and then you still don't top. I was X1 all the way until round 5, and then I lost in finals against Juan in time by 100 life points. He was on blind second Sky Striker, and I just could not, we just didn't have enough time for me to get damage in. So I ended up X1 after 5 rounds, but I put up a good fight. Check out those videos. Next up, the LZ of the Azamina of the White Forest. You can cut this for Azamina Deaders, and it would basically serve the same function. You just want to be able to recycle your engine infinitely. You're going to need as much carrying power as possible with this deck, because the Altergeist cards are not only weak, but you need 2 of them to start comboing. This is like, you know how Orchist is just everything is a 1-card combo? With this, everything is a 2-card combo, so it's inherently worse. Next up is Wanted to search your Diabell Stars. I opted to play a very heavy. I played 2 Deception. But yeah, I want to be able to see this stuff, and I want to be able to plus as much as possible. So I think in one of the tournament games, I normal summoned a Metalseek. I activated Deception, and then I tributed it in order to get the search of the Malwisp to give me 2 extra bodies and get the Hextia to start plussing even more. Because then you can search your other trap cards or any one of your other monsters to add more disruption. That's just how you have to play it in a combo deck that's not pure. Hallowed Azamina for the Fusion Summon, and then Morian. You got to play the Morian. Next up, the engine that has its days numbered, the Fiendsmith engine. Fiendsmith won the NAWCQ, which is hilarious. Shout out to Orchist. 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Sanct. We do not play into Droll around here. And then 1 Paradise. So these are the main engines of the deck. There's 4 engines here. I really like these 3 supplementary engines. And then it just made sense to use the Altergeist monsters as the normal summon engine. Because you can put those other 3 engines with almost any other strategy and it would work out for you. Now, the reason this deck is 54 cards is because I have to play a bunch of supplementary engines. So, the Where Art Thou works with the Sanct token from your Fiendsmith engine, and it also works with your Magician's Souls for extra consistency. And then you can send dead cards to your graveyard in order to, draw extra bonus cards. And the Illusion of Chaos to put back your bricks and search your souls. So the cool thing about playing Diabell Star in this deck is that you don't have to put this back into your deck and then send it to graveyard as cost. If you have a brick, like a hard brick like Malwisp in your hand, you can actually utilize this to put the Malwisp back on top of your deck, and then to summon out your Magician's Souls, you just send a Diabell Star as cost to the graveyard, which lets you summon it for free. So I really like that interaction. I wish I could play more of these, but there's no way I could justify that. This deck was already 54 cards, and it's just a little ridiculous. But it's an extra level 1 body that can special summon itself to the field and help you make Fiendsmith combo and more consistency. Like I said, every supplementary engine in this deck draws cards, even the Fiendsmith engine. The Fiendsmith engine has Necroquip Princess, and you have your Imseti that can send itself, or if you get hand trapped on it, it draws a bonus card, which is really cool. And then the Diabell Star package has the Wanted of Sinful Spoils, the Wanted poster, and you can banish that to draw another card. So like I said, there is a ton of consistency. That's what you have to do to play this deck at all. Check out the duels. I can't stress that enough. Because I got to combo several times with the full board, like insane. Like I did full Altergeist combo, Azamina next to it, plus full Fiendsmith combo in one of the duels. I think that was one of the first duels, maybe the against the Pendulum player. But yeah. So yeah, that is the last portion of the like supporting engines, and then here is like the defensive cards. So Ash Blossom, this is really good against certain cards that have to go really minus, and especially against the Mulch Armies. I think I ashed a Perulia, or no, I think I had the opportunity to ash a Perulia, but then I just decided that the Ash Blossom would be better in my hand, and I could play with the other cards. So 3 Ash, 3 Droll for the Mulch Armies, 1 Call by the Grave, and then 1 Crossout Designator. This is for basically Droll and Lockbird. I got to use it once, which was really cool. And then the spiciest of techs. So you want to ensure that you have 2 Altergeist monsters on board to really start your combo. And a good way to get cards into the graveyard is with Diabell Star or the Horus engine sending them to graveyard. So having 3 copies of Monster Reborn would be crazy, right? I give you Spell card Monster Reborn. This card's not only crazy for yourself, but it's also crazy on your opponent's monsters as well. If they like send their Mirakumo to graveyard, you just bring it back, and then it's only negated until the end phase. So you keep it, and then on your turn, when the turn is passed, its effects are online, so you can use its effect to make your opponent send a card to their graveyard or whatever. But yeah, this card's crazy. So in end phase, since I didn't use this as a disruption against one of my opponents, I was able to actually target my Azamina Ilia Sylvia to special summon it again. And then once the turn passed, the negation was live again. And I was able to negate their Drill Beam, which is really cool. So that is the 54 card main deck. You could probably improve it. And I think I will try to improve this once more because Altergeist is my baby and I just love it. Now, all you need to combo in the extra deck is just 3 cards. And you'll be very disappointed to see that I did not play Herald of Arclight or Relinquished Anima or Selene or Abao. Like, those are the 4 cards that I was really wanting to find room for, but I just could not find the room. The reason to play Abao and Selene is because Selene can bring back your Diabellstar or any of your Altergeist monsters, and Abao can bring back your Diabellstar from your graveyard that you dumped off your Magician Souls, for example, or however it got there. Or it can summon any dark or light Altergeist monster. So bring back Malwisp, use its effect again, which is crazy. So those 2 cards were broken. And then the Relinquished Anima is just a really broken Link 1 that also works with 1-for-1. I know some people want to play Almirage, but I don't like that play. I've used it in previous decks, and then you climb up into Promethean Princess, and then Reborn and end on like Amble Whale and stuff. And that just means that you're not summoning your Multifaker during your opponent's turn, which I didn't like. So I didn't even consider Almirage, but I did consider Relinquished Anima because you could use it as a disruption to break boards, and it can work on your special summoned Meloseek instead of having to normal summon it, which I thought was really good. And then you can trigger your Meloseek to bring it out, and then you can link the Malwisp with the Relinquished Anima to make your Moon, and so you end on full Fiendsmith combo plus a Meloseek on the field to search, I guess. It's not good by any means, but that's what I ended up with. So the Altergeist engine was just 3 cards. So Hextia, this actually climbs up into your Prime Banshee, and then this climbs up into your Adminia. So while you're going through, this searches one of your traps. This sets your other trap and is your final disruption that can send any card from your field to the graveyard to permanently steal an opponent's monster and make it an Altergeist. I stole a Druis Worm, and I used my Silquidus to bounce my opponent's Druis Worm back to their own hand because it treats it as an Altergeist monster to bounce their other card to their hand. It was insane. And then Prime Banshee, when you're using this, you summon the Multifaker off of its effect, but you don't use the Multifaker's effect because you're going into your Fiendsmith cards. But what you can do when it's linked away, you add back the Multifaker from the graveyard back to your hand. So it is important to get it out of the deck because the Multifaker, because of this engine, is searchable. So not only do you get both traps, you have Multifaker in your hand to get your Silquidus out, but also you have the steal effect of the Adminia, and you're usually putting this up next to multiple different bodies, which can smash together into the Fiendsmith engine. And in addition to that, you most of the time have your Ilia Sylvia negate because you have 2 Deception, 3 Wanted, and 3 Diabellstar. So that's 8 cards that you can possibly see in your 54 card deck to be able to access that negation with Ilia Sylvia, and also getting a guaranteed trap in the form of your Sinful Spoils Slumber Morian, which you can book any special summon monster, even your own. I've Book of Mooned my DDD Wave High King Caesar twice already in tournament to dodge effect negation when they're trying to negate its effects when you're going through your combo. So yeah, this is all you need really to call it an Altergeist deck. Anyway, next up is the Zombie Vampire. I mentioned the combo with the Horus package. This allows you to have an extra boost in consistency, seeing 4 more cards off of your deck, also seeing what your opponent's on, and giving you the opportunity to go SP Little Knight later on in your combo to banish their key pieces from their graveyard, or giving you the opportunity to spell card Monster Reborn, one of their key cards as well. just the knowledge of what they're on, especially game 0, is really broken. And that boost in consistency, getting you more Altergeist cards or getting you into your Fiendsmith package easier, is really broken. Next up, the Azamina package. Murcielago and Ilya Sylvia. I don't really need to talk about those. Check out the duels. Next up, finally, the Fiendsmith package. So this is a huge portion of the extra deck. So I'm very excited to see how this deck will change when they finally hit this engine. Requiem, Moon. This is probably what they're going to hit. Sequence, Egnumde, Desiree, Necroquip Princess, DDD Wave High King Caesar, Boss Monster, Chaos Angel, that card's crazy, and SP Little Knight. So that is the 15-card extra deck, and like I said, it's extremely tight. There's 4 other cards that I wish I could play in this strategy, but I just could not. Now, the side deck. I've had a standard side deck for quite a while. It had Lancias, it had Bells, it had Harpy's Feather Duster, it had Lightning Storm, it had Mistake, it had Droplet. But I completely changed it up because Altergeist has a slightly different way of playing. So I opted to play Nibiru the Primal Being. Normally, I'm not too keen on this card, but I do like having the option to bring it in, especially with a deck like Altergeist. It just can help you clear the board, especially going first. So if they're breaking your board and they're going to end your game, you can go ahead and nib, and you already have everything set up for the follow-up. So nib is even stronger going first than it is going second in a lot of scenarios. Because your opponent, while they're setting up their combo, they're playing around Nibiru, and they're setting up negation in their combo. We all do it. Like, just because of this card's existence, it changes the way that people play the game, and I think this card's a lot better going first, which is hilarious. This is a going first card, guys. Next up, Artifact Lancia. I was able to access a Lancia in my Malice opponent's match, but unfortunately, I ended up losing that match. 3 Droplet. This is just really good in general, being able to dodge stuff. But unfortunately, my opponent had the Solemn Judgment for this, so I lost that game, and then I won that match, though. And you can't play a Faker deck without Imperm somewhere on your list. And then shout out to the Evenly match that did nothing against my Malice opponent, but I didn't have anything better to side deck in. And I drew double Evenly, of course, so I just lost that one in time as well. Actually, all my losses were in time. If I had more time with this slow control deck that I tried to change into a combo deck, I might have a better chance. But, yeah, that's the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't get to Imperm Faker anybody. But that's always a possibility. Anyway, subscribe for more, and keep an eye out. My next video that's coming out, probably later today, will be the combo video for this deck, and then I'm going to do a separate video with test hands. So make sure you subscribe and ring the bell to check out those videos, and I do post shorts as well, so check out the shorts as well if you're into that kind of stuff. Subscribe for more.